Hi, I'm Luke Cervelli. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. Today, we had a shoot on a second floor. We had to walk everything up, and we were doing an interview with an artist. We had one setup where she was talking to camera, and we had a large window, and the sun was coming through that window, but the sun was getting higher, so we put a 6x in front of it. We popped a 300 Aputure light into it just for a little extra filling up the 6x that wasn't lit by the sun any longer. And then we had another 300 Aputure coming through a frame of, I think it was 250, just for a little scratch. And then we sort of cut light. We had a Jolico 400, but then the light from the window was making it too flat in the back, so we put up some solids to sort of break that up and also break up the Jolico that was kind of acting like the window light, adding some hot streaks in the background. Then we had two little dados, one in the front where our person was, just to light up what she was looking at on her table, and then we had another one on a painting in the back. So kind of a fun little setup. It had to be done pretty quickly, so we were just kind of bang, 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 bang. But the Aputures were really handy to get us a little more pop to add to our sun.
I had this Aputure 300d for about a year and a half. It's been great light. It's definitely stronger than the Joker 400. It's definitely less than 800, but it does a punch. You can run off the batteries. And I use it outside when I don't have any power. Without the generator, it worked great. A couple of things that I wish they fix is the power draw. I need a big V-mount batteries. I have an IDX. It's only a 10 amp draw. It only lasts about 45 minutes with 100% and it dies. So that's the unfortunate part, but as long as you have a bunch of batteries, this is a great lights to have outside. We used it today for a couple scenes against the sun. It worked out great for the fill. We used it in the morning as a moonlight. It was great in the dark. And all the accessories coming out is great. Lico mounts coming out for this. I'm definitely getting it, 2 of them. New funnel is coming out. Seems like a better burn door than older one. Older ones kind of has to screw in and not great. Light dome is definitely no go. It has a 16 poles. It's just so hard to put it in. But if you use a Shimera speed ring and a Shimera softbox, it looks great. We also use it for 9 people round table discussion with the space lights on. That worked out great. So yeah, it's really versatile light. I think everybody should have it in a kit. And that's pretty much it.
I just want to jump in here a sec and address some of the responses, the questions that came up for episode 126 that talked a little bit about the 300D. First off, Yuki, who you just heard from, is an accomplished professional DP who owns 2 of these 300Ds and uses them all the time. He also has a S60 Sky panel. He has a Gemini. So he's one of these guys who has, who's not only a DP with a camera, but also has lighting instruments. He has, C-stands, some grippage, and then brings someone like myself in when he needs more grippage or larger lights. And so, these units get used all the time, as you can hear from what he says. So I just want to address, people saying like, well, what do you think of it? Well, I think in all my written responses, you can tell what I think. I think, hey, it's a very versatile light that is at a wonderful price point. So if the cost of the 300D is sort of at the top part of your budget, and you need a sort of multi-tool unit, fantastic. You've got your bases covered in a lot of ways. But kind of like a multi-tool, you've got all the, you have different tools that are all together, but they're not necessarily the best in their field. So as a professional, as someone who is hired to just do lighting and grip, DPs sort of want me to have the latest and greatest, want me to have the extra sort of bells and whistles. So I'm going to have the more expensive units that cover each of those areas that a 300D covers broadly, but I'm going to have those tools that are that do RGB, that have multiple effects and colors and stuff like that. So it's not to disparage a 300D. It just doesn't fit in my world because I've got individual units that will take care of all those things. And so I just wanted to put that out there. It's a wonderful multi-tool at a great price.
So, you want to know what it takes to work for yourself? To be your own boss? If you're Itohan, it's waking up early to get ahead of the game.
And staying up late because you don't want to stop.
It's starting from scratch, like Richard, and never losing faith in yourself. And then there's Elena, always getting creative, because sometimes you just can't afford to say no. It's finding a way like Sanjay to hit the impossible deadline. If you ask Heather and Tony, they'll tell you.
You've got to get used to stepping out of your comfort zone.
And feeling that sense of panic.
Or you can be like Kaylee. Give up memories with your family to make them for someone else.
I will succeed. I have to.
Me? I say it takes grit. When I started, I signed a studio lease before I was even making money and kept myself going on just $25 a week. Free time wasn't an option, but I trusted myself and kept moving forward. So when people ask me, is it all really worth it? Absolutely.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.
All right, let's do one more where you're focused on the bottom of the paint instead of the brush.